Okay, so I just want to make a couple of comments about, some themes that I picked out listening to what everybody was saying, and some wacky ideas I had, because, heck, I haven't gotten to really be a presenter yet, so I'll throw out some wacky ideas. Definitely heard a lot about youth involvement and ways to increase youth involvement and how to go about that. That was a theme, and that was part of a larger theme about increasing stewardship and involving the community right from the beginning and finding a good venue to do that. Because it's true that the task force is there, and even the task force hasn't always been utilized to give feedback to all the projects that are going on. And that task force meets on Thursday mornings at 9 a.m. So it's the same issue that comes up with this conference. It really isn't an appropriate venue for typical community members to have input. I have to say I kind of like the idea of involving schools and parent groups a little bit more. I don't know, you're going to run up against sort of how busy are people and how does that fit in and how does that fit into the curriculum and all the things that schools already need to do. So that might be something that could be addressed. Maybe, I'll just say that's coming from other areas, some kind of a competency curriculum aimed at a certain grade level or something similar to some of the LA River curriculums. I don't know if that may be something that's already being developed, but it might be a way to make sure that you're teaching some of the basic skills and things kids need for testing these days, but focusing it on the creek. Health came up a few times, and both kind of giving opportunities for healthy recreation, but also access to healthy food, whether it's locally grown or whether it's the right kind of markets. I'll say one wacky idea I had. I can't remember which group it was who was talking about sort of having carts along the creek. One wacky idea that I had, I don't know how they structure the kinds of marketplace they have in Venice Beach. But that's a marketplace with small vendors, and they're not at stalls, but people set themselves up. I have no idea how that's managed or what kinds of policing issues that brings up, but maybe that's something to consider, take on, throw out, or whatever as a model. There was information about doing, or another theme that came up was doing restoration and increasing both native plantings, but just increasing trees and increasing shade. And I was thinking about, again, I think this was from your presentation where you were talking about having some kind of shade structures, maybe trellises or something like that. And increasing outdoor classrooms, working with the property owners who live along the creek and kind of opening things up to the creek. What else was a theme in here? Certainly agriculture was a theme. I mentioned that already. So I think what I'd like to do is see what else you guys picked out of this as common themes and kind of open it up for a group discussion. Now you've had your small breakout group discussions, but what are some of the similarities here? And are there any real recommendations for next steps that you guys can give to us? And I don't know how we're going to do this microphone-wise. So I don't know if you want to come up or just... We're a smaller group now, so if we're condensed and maybe the speakers stand up and just try to project, maybe that'll work?
Yeah.
Okay, it wasn't my idea. It was, sorry, what was your name? One of the, behind
Rhonda.
Oh, Rhonda. It was Rhonda's idea, and she took this from the project in Korea, where she said when she looked at that article, what struck her greatest was that it really reflected the culture of Korea, and you touched upon this a little bit. That whatever happens here, it should really reflect the culture and values of the area.
Just to build on that, I wanted to know what kind of elements, as a group, I guess I'm specifically asking people who are from Compton or who work in Compton, or have come into daily contact on the ground in Compton, but what kind of elements of culture would we include in a restoration? This can either go back from where you find a lot of people in Compton are from, or you know, what kind of element? I want to build on that more. I want to hear a little bit more about that, because I think it ties nicely into the outreach panel, which I hope you all can come to, where we're going to be trying to figure out ways to make more meaningful connections with the community. And so I'm just going to throw that out there, volley it along. And don't raise your hand, stand up. I think that's what we would like. If you have something to say, I'll like surrender.
What came to my mind, you know, when she said that was, wow, I got this picture of, you know, Compton having been agrarian, farming community, you know, food growing kind of thing. So I saw trees with fruit on them. Pretty much everybody's yard in Compton, there's going to be fruit trees somewhere, and to make sure that was part of the thing. Yeah. Food, trees with food on them.